Hello, hope all those watching are well. Not posted a video for a while, so I thought I'd cover what's currently been occupying some table space in the games room. Napoleonic games are a particular favourite of mine. I don't actually own that many of them, thinking about it, but certainly it's a period of history that I'm very interested in. Particularly the 100 Days campaign, with all the what ifs and maybes which went along with that. And I've got the OSG Kevin Zucker Napoleon's Last Gamble, which is a good operational game. I always felt that the combat resolution was a bit 1970s for my liking. I'd used the Marcus Stumpner version, which I tweaked a bit, and there's a video somewhere on that. But it was still nice to be able to play the Quatre Ligny combination, and then follow on the same map with the Wavre Waterloo engagements. It takes a while, but it was pretty good. I guess at the other end of the scale, La Bataille. I used to own some of the La Bataille games. Again, Wavre, Waterloo, Quatre, Ligny set, and as much as I kind of wanted to enjoy it and like it, I got a bit frustrated with the lack of clarity, I suppose, with the rules. Which version of the rules? The Marie-Louise, I think the Marie-Louise rules were one of the more recent releases, and then there was the regular 30 or 22 or something, and then some of the more recent releases had a new version. I kind of lost it really with that particular series, and I sold them off. Still think that they look lovely, and they've definitely got their fans, but it's not really for me. So I was always looking for something which sort of filled that middle ground, where it had a feel of a Napoleonic battle, but it was, I guess, simpler to implement than what La Bataille was trying to do. And to that end, I've picked up some titles from Hexasim. There's a third one on the Battle of Austerlitz, which is still unpunched on the shelf, but these two, the Ligny and Quatre ones, I think Quatre was the fourth one in the series, Ligny third, Austerlitz was the second one, and the first one, which I don't have, was Fallen Eagles, which is essentially Waterloo. I think the artwork on the map in particular has changed a bit since Fallen Eagles, and I think there's a plan to re-release that at some stage, which I should probably pick up. And I think the Battle of Eylau is also being mentioned as a potential future release from Hexasim as well. But I mean, these games, I think, for me, hit the sort of sweet spot between sort of complexity, ease of play, graphical sort of presentation, and this one, the Ligny one, comes with a couple of very simple scenarios: small engagement, one French corps attacking Saint-Amand or Ligny. There's two early scenarios, so you can cut your teeth on the system. Then you go into the campaign game with the historical reinforcements. Then that can be embellished with variants, bring up what happened to the Prussian Fourth Corps under Bulow. Will Bulow enter? Then the various machinations of Delon. Mouton, I think, was the commander of the Sixth Corps. So you get your set reinforcements, and then you get some variables which you can choose to call upon or not at a victory point cost. So that's quite a nice dilemma to have. We did this at a convention a couple of years ago in the UK. Just did the historical, the first campaign scenario. Played 4-player very well. And these conventions sort of start on a Thursday and run through to typically a Sunday morning, and you tend to, with the big games, you tend to get to the Saturday and you haven't quite finished, and you have a post-mortem, and you put in your 2 penneth as to why you think that your side's doing better than the other, but you very rarely finish anything. We had the very surreal experience of actually finishing and packing up the game on the Friday night. So it plays pretty quick as well. Probably took us about a day and a half to finish the basic campaign game. So I like that a lot. And then they released the Quatre game, which was a nice bite size for doing the historical, which I've just done. I did it a little while ago, and it seemed to be a bit one-dimensional, I suppose you might say. Rise, second chord, just heading up Route 1. But I tried it again recently and played it all the way through to the 8 PM turn, and actually there's some more subtlety there than I had first appreciated. So that was actually very good, and it was a very tight, I think there was like a 5 VP win for the Allies, and when you're talking about the break-even points about 100, you get some idea of just how close it was. So I thought, I quite fancy combining that with Ligny. Can I fit it on my table? No. Can I adjust my table to fit it on? Yes. Essentially it's about 5 or 6 inches lack of length. So I've got essentially a 4x6 playing board, and you need about 4 foot by 6.5 foot. So a bit of jigsawing and a bit of doweling later, I managed to insert an extra piece to allow the entire map to be set up, and it's a thing to behold. It's very nice. So I'm actually going to now try the combined Ligny Quatre campaign game. Not the grander campaign. The grand campaign might be a bit too much to do on my own. But the middle, essentially campaign game number 2. So number 1 is the historical campaign, and you get your fixed reinforcements. Campaign game 2 is like 1, but with some variation in the reinforcements. So a Bulau's 4th Corps may or may not enter Derlon, Mouton, and others likewise. So that's what I've gone for. So, but it's a nice system. There's enough to make you feel as though you're playing a Napoleonic battle. The 3 different arms, the cavalry, the artillery and the infantry, all feel different and have different roles. And I think where the game shines as well is with the order system. A very simplistic but very effective way to put some sort of constraint on where you can and can't go. Essentially you've got a miniature map of the full playing area with the little red dots on it, and you issue an order to a particular formation, which has to be within 15 hexes of the commander of the formation, and that's where you must head for if you wish to move at full efficiency. You can try and do independent movement and move in a direction which doesn't bring you closer to your target, but essentially you're moving at half speed, and you can also always move 1 hex. So I'm not going to spend too much longer on that summary, but I am going to just show you some of the map with the pieces which are now set up. I've set up all the forces for the 2 PM start of the combined game. Orders have been given. The tactical cards have been. It's not a card-driven. If you don't like card-driven games, don't be put off by the mention of cards, because essentially there are a dozen cards on each battle, each area, Ligny and Quatre, and in an alternate picking, starting with the French, you get to choose one of the 12, and then the Allies choose one of the 11, and then one of the 10, and so on until they both pick 6. And they just give minor little tweaks to the general rule of play to give bonuses, allowing you to rally some units which you wouldn't be able to normally, potentially to activate a formation again, because essentially each formation can only really activate twice in a turn. So you might be able to push it for that third activation, which will have some effect on the morale possibly, because they're getting tired, but it can be done. So I'll stop that there, and I'll just show you around the map, and I'll probably, depending how I get on with it, I might just do an update video after every sort of couple of turns or so. Okay, so here we have on the right of the table, if I just stand back, you'll be able to see the full. So there we have the combined Quatre Ligny map. You can see the little extra piece I had to put in. It's about 5 inches, and then you get quite a snug fit either end of a 6'5" table. Actually, let's start here as we're here anyway. So this is the Quatre. This is Kellerman's cavalry, which will be entering on the 2 PM turn, and will receive their orders at that time. Then moving up the road towards Quatre, you'll see Rye's 2nd Corps progressing along the road, and there is Ney with a few elements of the Imperial Guard cavalry, which he's been told to take good care of. You get penalised quite heavily if you lose any steps off those. And then we've got Paponchet's 2nd Dutch-Belgian Division spread out, a bit of sunken road there, the farm at Gimignoncourt, which is a tough structure. Prince of Orange, and then a couple of other units that you're sort of forced to spread out a little bit and cover the 2 deployment zones. And that's the main road going towards Brussels, and then the road to Nivelles just off to the right, and various Allied reinforcements will be entering from both of those positions. From Paradis here, Wellington will appear, I think, also on the first turn, because he's had his morning conference with Blucher. If you play the Grand Campaign, which starts early in the day, then Blucher and Wellington must meet in the morning, or at least some point during the game. Otherwise, there is a shift in victory conditions if they don't meet. So that reflects Wellington coming back from that earlier sort of negotiations and discussions. And then this bit of map here, this is an extra piece of map. So the original Quatre map goes from sort of here to the edge. Then you've got a little piece which they produced, which allows you to link the 2 maps together. And then we're now on the Ligny map, and got a bit of reflection from the light that can't be helped, I'm afraid. So you've got the Saint-Amans here and Saint-Amand-le-Hay, And down here is Van Damme's third corps. They've got orders. I think there's a red dot. I'll show you the dots in a minute, but there's a red dot up here somewhere. So that, which is within 15 hexes of his starting position, which will allow him to push through the Saint-Amans. In Fleuris, there's the Guard Corps, looking very threatening with Bilhaud's. That's the fourth Cavalry Corps, which is a heavy cavalry corps. They're very good. Pujol and Exelmans are in command of the two lighter cavalry corps, which are on the right flank of the French forces. And then we've got Gerard poised to make an attack into Ligny. You'll notice there are these little black flags. Now, I think there are 7 of those. I like the way that you're encouraged to push on, because essentially the person who controls those flags, there's another one you can see up here, which is well behind the Prussian lines, but there's also one in this farm just here. I think you'll see that one just in there. Now essentially the person who controls those flags at the end of each turn will record victory points. I think it's 10 per turn, so if the French do nothing on the first turn, then that will allow the Prussians to accumulate 70 victory points. If the French take 2, then they'll get 20 and the Prussians will take 50, and so on and so forth. So it gives them that incentive to kind of get a bit of a jog on and crack on with it. So there's Gerard. Ligny's currently defended by the Prussian First Corps, but they're also defending down in this Saint-Amand, which is a bit of a logistical nightmare command-wise, because what they're going to have to do is Ziethen, who's here, he's the commander of the Prussian First Corps, he needs to evacuate Ligny, reinforce at the Saint-Amans, which he can do with an appropriately placed order, and then von Pirch, who's the commander of the Prussian Second Corps, will backfill into Ligny and hopefully defend it in those 2 flags as long as possible. And then we have Thielmann's Prussian Third Corps, which is up the top there. And there's another flag just about here, I think it is. So they'll be keen to hang on to that for as long as possible and to accumulate some victory points. So over here, this is the orders. Obviously I'm playing the solitaire, so I've just got one of these sheets out, but there is one of these for each player, so you can record your orders in secret. And that's telling each corps where its objective is, which will limit its movement and give them quite a nice feel. You can change orders. There's a chance of being able to change orders at the start of each turn, but it's not guaranteed. There's the odd card which helps you to do it, and the other way is using one of your overall commanders, which would be obviously Wellington, Ney, Grouchy, Napoleon, etc. And when they activate, again a limit of twice a turn, they can change the orders of a formation if they're within command range, which is 8 hexes of the formation leader. There is Bulow, von Bulow's Prussian Fourth Corps, and it's quite a big one. But down here, just move the pen out of the way, you'll see a table which gives you the penalty in victory points for bringing on the formation, and obviously the earlier that you bring them on, the higher the penalty. It's not guaranteed. You have to do a 2d6 die roll, and each formation is different. So for example, Bulow is on a DR of 4, which means 4 or less, essentially 1 in 6, but again there are cards that can modify that, whereas Mouton is a die roll of 8, much more likely to come on, but clearly a much smaller formation, and therefore a smaller VP penalty. So it's a nicely crafted way to give some variation to the way the battle develops. So anyway, that's probably enough for now. Just going up there, you can see that is the Anglo-Allied reinforcements, and the other one in the middle is the orders situation for the Quatre. They're basically played as two separate theatres. So you have the orders and the formations acting on both separately, but of course they are allowed to cross from one end to the other. So there you go. I'll hopefully update you when there's something to report.